problem. So you completed your education in which sector?
I have done my education in BSc Computers
Okay, great. BSc computers. In which year?
in 2020, sir.
2020. That means 2, 3 years ago. Okay. So after that,
Yes.
any experience in the IT sector or you worked in the IT sector on any of the domain? Not necessarily you need to work on this domain only, but any of the domain.
No, sir. I have not worked. Actually, I went for the police training. Actually, when I have written the government exams, I was went for the
Oh,
coaching.
great.
Yeah.
Ah.
So
You
so
went,
that's the thing.
uh,
And after that, I have like to be in the IT sector. I'm interested.
okay. Okay. So you went for the government examination preparation, right? As I can
Yes,
understand.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So you tried to get into the
Yes.
government sector and then later on you returned, you came back to get into the IT sector.
Yes, sir.
Great, no problem. See, first thing I'll tell you, do not worry about the career gap, right? What career gap is. It all matters with the skill. There are a lot of opportunities. As I said, see, you need to understand the things that are happening in the country as well. You need to focus on, see, there is an general elections happening as well. They have to create some opportunities for the youth because if they want the vote bank, right? Now, suppose if I'm a politician, right? If I want to get an vote bank of yours, I have to give something for you. But if I don't give anything to you, why will you vote me? And India is a
Mm.
country of youth, right? So that is what 60% youth is that they want to create an opportunity. You will see, just wait for 1 month and 1.5 months that the dates be declared. You will see that a lot of openings will be there in the market. Abundant. And this is the right time for you. So meanwhile, if you practice, at least 50% of the syllabus will be done before the election, and you start applying, there will be a chance to get into job. After that, I don't know how long it will take, but this is the right time for you to get into the industry.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Teja, yeah, great. Not to worry. Career gap, do not worry. See, I believe in one thing. If the person is skillful enough, if the person is skillful, he or she will definitely survive on this planet. Another thing is you need to be very skillful. I'm forgetting what happened in the past, what we did. See, everything is about trial and error. If Isaac Newton or if Thomas Alva Edison would have thought that, okay, on the first attempt only I need to invent or generate electricity, that is not going to happen. You have to try, you have to fail. You have to try, you have to fail. That is the law of nature. But
Yes, sir.
not to worry. But if you're learning, make sure now you're learning in such a sincere and disciplined way. If you do so, I guarantee you will get a job. I guarantee you. But
Yes, sir.
see, it's not that one-way traffic. You have to put on the same efforts as well. I will train you 1 hour every day, but the rest of the 23 hours, it's your duty. How do you perform? If you're taking an effort, then definitely you'll see the results. If 23 hours every day you're resting after that 1 hour session, then nobody will help you. This is the truth. This is the universal truth.
Okay, sir.
Okay. But
Yeah.
Teja, can you just help me recall that on the first day, I have a very bad memory, my guys. I'm sorry for that. Teja, I guess you were the person with 2 years of experience from Hyderabad. Okay. Bhanush, I feel like I uh, have seen this name previously as well. I guess we are meeting once again, if I am not wrong. I remember
Yeah,
this
you are
name.
correct.
Oh, great, right. You already opted for this course, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you help me recall? You're working in the retail sector, I guess. So which sector? I forgot which sector you told me. Like a week ago when we had training, we had regular session. You told me about yourself. You are working in which sector? You're working in which sector?
I work in sourcing, which comes under procurement.
Okay, you told about PO, right? You prepare the POs, etc.
Yeah, correct.
Then it's correct. Great, welcome back. Okay, Pooja, I'm there, So hold on. So let's start the regular session. Mhm. Give me a second. Let me check on the screen. Hmm. I'm sorry, I'm done with the help. Not I am talking a lot. Let's start. So first thing I would like to know from you before I could share my screen, how much do you rate? What is your expectation? Like what course you have paid for? What course you have paid for? Like Raj, Bhanushri and Teja, what course you have opted here for?
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes, Raj.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, I have not understand the question. Can you please repeat?
You are looking for which course here in the Harsha Training? Is it for data analytics or data science? Which of the course you enrolled yourself?
I have been enrolled regarding the uh, data science, sir.
Data science. Oh, great. Okay. Bhanushri, you're for data analytics, right?
No, data science.
Data
Sir,
science. Last time
Yeah.
I heard, I remember, I know I have a bad memory, but not that bad. You told me you're for
No,
data analytics.
no, data science
Okay, you
only.
made a change in a you made a change in a plan.
Yeah.
But you told me data analytics, right? You told me data analytics, if
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not wrong.
true. Yeah, true.
Great, not a problem. So data science has a good opportunity. Why I'm telling you, because see, when you cover a data science course, you are not just covering data analytics. I'll tell you how many openings you have. First thing, you can apply for a Python. If you're interested in the coding, you can go for Python. Second, after completion of Python, you're going to learn SQL. So you can apply for SQL. That means you can apply for two openings now. One is Python, one is for SQL. After that, you're going to learn Excel. So now you can also start working as an Excel strategist. And you might think, sorry, Excel does as a job. Yes, the Excel also nowadays are having a lot of abundant jobs. You can work in Excel strategist. After that, we're going to have the data analytics part. So after that, you can apply for the data analyst. That means what starting from Python, you can apply for Python. Then you can apply for the SQL developer. You can apply for Excel strategist. After that, data analyst. In data analyst, there are different roles. You can apply for data analyst. You can apply for cricket analyst. You can apply for clinical analyst. Whatever analyst you want, whichever sector you want to go. See, I cannot tell you this is my niche. You should go into this niche. If you're interested into the retails, you'll go into that retail market. If you're interested into the medical, you'll go into the medical clinical field. If you're interested in cricket, you can go into the cricket field. But wherever, whichever sector you go, the same data analyst would be required. After that, when you complete the data analytics part, then you go to the data side. So here then a lot of those opens. Here you can be a data engineer, junior software engineer, senior software engineer, depending upon your experience also. If you're a fresher, junior engineer. If you're experience a little bit of experience, so you can be a senior engineer. Then you can be a machine learning engineer, or you can be a software engineer, whatever. So that means what you're having an opening to 10 to 12 doors after completion of data science. Now, I don't think that if you're having doors opening towards 10 doors, right? I don't think that you'll not be selected in one of the companies or any of the two. You have to get selected. If not, then you have to work very hard. Then I cannot do anything. Okay, so let's come back. Uh, Teja, I hope I'm audible to you. Yes, I'm not able to hear you. That is why was the question. Okay, so let's see what is Python. So, how much do you rate, first of all, every language you will go, whatever you are learning? How much do you rate yourself for a scale of 5 for Python? How much do you rate? How much do you rate on a scale of 5? So, if I say myself, I'll say 4.5. So no one is perfect. I will not say never. I'll never say 5 point out of 5, because everything is a learning, right? No one is perfect. So you cannot say I'm forever a 5 out of 5. So I'll rate myself 4.5 out of 5. How much will you rate on the scale of 5 for Python language?
So 4.2.
4.2. Okay. Bhanushri and Teja.
Zero, because am not
0.
having any idea on it.
No problem. No problem. What background you come from, that is not a problem. How much you rate is important. Teja, how much you rate yourself on a scale of 5? Okay. So look at this. Let's start. So this is the interpreter that is called the collab. So whatever the practice you're going to do, you're going to do on a file called as a collab. So how do you find this file called as a collab? I'll tell you. So you go to Google. You'll go to Google, and in Google, you will type here Google collab. We need an environment. Environment means what? Platform where we can write a code. For example, now if I want to drive a car, right? If I want to ride a bike, right? So for that, I need a platform, a terrain, right? If I try to start riding a bike, or if I start driving a car on a water, is it possible to drive a car on a water, or is it possible to drive a car in the air? As of now, is it possible? No, we can just drive a car, we can ride a bike on a platform called a road, right? If you're not having a road, then it is very hard and tough for a car to be driven, right? Even if you don't have a road, proper road, that is what you're going to be able to tell to drive that vehicle. Similarly, when you are writing something code, that you're going to perform some operations, etc., we need an environment. That is what is a road to drive our car or drive our vehicle. So for that, we are going to use an environment that is called the integrated development environment, IDE, that is called the integrated development environment, that is called the road, right, for our vehicle to be driven. For that environment is called the, there are different environments called the Jupyter, iCharm, Visual Studio, but we are going to use Colab. The reason for using Colab is that you need only your email ID for it. What happens is that here it is my ID is logged in. What happens is that when you log in through your email ID, this thing is available on the cloud. Now, what is the cloud? So that means what? If you don't have laptop, right? Suppose you're traveling somewhere or you're in the middle of interview, etc. So what happens is that you want to practice, right? Maybe you're on a bed at the night and you don't want to go to sleep, you want to practice. What happens is that through your mobile also you're able to do a coding. So if it was on a local system, if it is in your computer, like Jupyter or Visual Studio, any offline application, then you have to practice it by opening your system or maybe opening your laptop one day. But this Colab gives a very good feature that you just require your email ID and internet through through whichever system you're going to use, you can just access to the Colab by using only your email ID. To go to Google Colab, so already I have logged in my email ID. See, look at here on the right hand side. So this one. That is why I don't have to log in when I go into the Colab. So you can go and you can look at this infinity symbol. This is like an infinity symbol. Click on that infinity symbol. Click on Google Colab. That is actually CO. There's not a infinity symbol. And you say new notebook. When you say new notebook, and when you say new notebook, you will say this file opening, call as a Google Colab. This is the file. Are you able to see the file? So this is the environment we are going to use for writing the code. Here we are going to start writing it. Got it? So let's go to the previous one. I already have that file created. So I'll not use the new file. Clear? So you are going to go collab and start writing the coding. Right? So see here, you can see I have logged in with my email ID. That is why whenever I try to access this file from whichever device, electronic gadget, so I'll be able to touch this file. So that is why I'm using Kona. So first thing you need to remember, what is Python? Python is an interpreter language. Now, what is the meaning of interpreter? So there are two types of language, interpreter language and compile based language. Interpreter language means what? Now suppose, no, now suppose I am talking to you, right? What is your native language? What is your native language? What is your native language? Hello. Yes, guys. What is your native language?
Hello, sir.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, sir. My native language is Marathi.
Okay, your native language is Marathi. Okay, what about Bharushri?
Telugu.
Hindi. You said Hindi or I heard it wrong? Okay,
I
Teja,
said
what is
Telugu.
uh, okay, Telugu. Okay, all right. So, Teja, what is your native language? Let's suppose I have an audience, right? Suppose you are an audience from Spain, right? Now, the native language of Spain is Spanish, right? The people who are from Spain is Spanish. Now, I want to deliver something to them, right? I'm teaching them Python. And those people don't understand English. Those people understand Spanish, right? And I don't understand Spanish. My language is English. Suppose my native language is English and their native language is Spanish. Now, what happened is that I'm trying to teach them Python, right? And what is the loophole over here? The loophole, the problem over here is that I don't understand Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, and those people don't speak English, or those people don't understand English, right? Now, if I want to deliver the training on Python for only one batch, this is the only batch I'm going to train as of now. I don't know in future I'll go to train Spanish people or not. So I cannot spend my time like maybe 3 months or 6 months or 1 year learning Spanish language, right? If I try to spend some time on learning Spanish language, after that I'm going to train them. So it's of no use. Yes or no? First of all, it's a wastage of time. Second, it can be a good learning for yourself. But definitely, if your training is to be delivered in upcoming month, I have to prepare within 1 month to speak in Spanish. Right? And within 1 month, no one will be able to speak any languages. Right? It takes years of practice to speak in any of the language. Right? So now what happens is that what I'll do is that I'll use my brain and I'll find a solution to it. What is the solution? I will hire a mediator. I'll hire a mediator. Mediator will, what is the role of mediator? That I'll see that this person who is the mediator is able to speak and understand English, and also is able to speak and understand Spanish. So what will happen is that when I try to speak in English, so he will be able to understand the things, and he will translate in Spanish to the crowd or to the audience. And if the crowd or audience has some questions, or if they want to say something, they'll speak in Spanish, and this mediator will listen to them, and again he'll translate back in English to me. That means what? Now what I have done is that to do my work, what I have hired is a mediator, a translator. Right? I speak in English. He listens to my whatever I say, and he translates in Spanish to the audience. And whatever audience says, he listens to the audience, and what he does is that he translates back to me in English. Getting my point? So, what the end important is that I am hiring a mediator to do my job. Similarly, here when I'm writing a code, right, I need to convert that language, whatever the code I have written, into the computer language. Reason? Because computer understand only one language, that is called the binary language. So whatever I have read, I'm going to write the code. This whatever I've written on a screen, right, like print hello. This is a human readable form. That means what? It's a language which I understand, which I can understand. But computer will not understand this print, it will not understand hello. Computer will understand 0 1 0 1 0 1. If I start writing 0 1 right in the instead of hello, I don't know what is binary language for hello. Got my point? So I cannot remember every single binary format for every single word. Suppose instead of hello, it was good morning. Suppose for hello, the binary word is like this way, 0 1 0 1 1 0 1. Okay, for example, and now the second word is welcome. The second word is welcome. Okay. Now for welcome, the binary language is going to be another one. Suppose it is going to be 1 1 1 0 0 1 0. So imagine for hello, I have to remember this one binary language. For welcome, I have to remember this one binary language. If third word is suppose again good morning, good morning. So that means what? Good morning again. I have to remember binary language. Suppose it was like this way: 0 1 0 1 1 0 1. So see, imagine, or maybe I'll write 0 1 0 0 1 0 1. So imagine how many binary language I have to remember. So that is not possible for me, right? If I am remembering this thing, so it is not going to be easy for me to write a code. That is what to convert this human readable language, right? This is a human readable language into computer language. We need a mediator. Just like as I said, if I want to convert that English into Spanish and again Spanish into English, I need a mediator, right? Who can do my job. Here, Python is the one who is trying to do my job. He is understanding my language also, which I'm writing over here, and it is also understanding computer language also. That is why Python is called an interpreter language. Now, I'll tell you more difference in interpreter and the compile-based language. Now, got it? What is Python over here? So, Python is going to play a role of mediator. Now, you might ask, sir, what is the role of this Colab, this file? So, this file is nothing but a road where you're going to drive your vehicle. That is what this is an environment where you're going to write your code. Platform is to be there to write a code. Got it, my friend? The role is of this Colab is nothing to write a code. And this has a Python language in it, which will convert that human readable form into which language? Into computer language. And computer languages consist of only 0 and 1. Apart from that, computer will not understand any language. You have to understand. No other language will be understood by the computer. Only you have to understand 0 or it will understand 1. Well, got it. And now coming to the interpreter part. What is the interpreter? Now, when I'm trying to translate something to the Spanish crowd, right? Suppose I've said, "Hi everyone, good morning, welcome to Python class." So what I said, "Hi, well, good morning, welcome to Python class." So what this translator is doing is that the way I said sentence in English, he is going to translate ditto. Ditto means what? Same manner in the same fashion in the Spanish language. He is not going to translate anything else, right? I said, "Hi everyone, good morning, welcome to Python classes." Whatever I have said, he is going to translate word to word, line to line. Like we watch this dubbed movies. When you see this dubbed movies in Hindi or you see dubbed movies in Tamil, Telugu, etc. So you see that the translation or dubbing is done line by line, dialogue by dialogue. When you see a book translated, so the book translation is done word by word, line by line. That is what called the translation is what. So what Python does is that Python converts line by line into computer language. So first it will start from this language because this is the first line of the code, print hello. So once it is done this conversion into computer language, it will go to the second line. So which is the second line? This line, print hello. Again, when it is done with this line of a translation, then it will go to this line called as a print welcome. So what is Python trying to do is that just like when we speak in right, when you try to speak and we try that mediator is trying to convert it to the language. Similarly, what it will do is that it will not listen to, it will not trying to listen. It is not, now suppose if I'm trying to translate the movie, so it's not going to happen that I'm going to listen that entire movie or I'm going to watch that entire movie and in one go means what? Only what in one time I'm going to translate all the dialogues. It's not possible to translate all the dialogues by just watching in one movie, right? So every time I have to watch that line, whatever that line has been said in Tamil, and I need to understand what is the meaning in English, and I need to translate it in English or in Hindi. So line by line is translating is done. So what is my point? So interpreter means what? It is not going to compile every single line of a code. It is not going to compile this entire block of a code and then generate an output. No. What it is going to do is that it is going to read line by line. So first it will read this line of print hello and then generate an output. Again, it will generate line output for this, this. So it will not generate all the block of code at a time. This is called as a compile based language. Compile means what? All the code will be checked and then the output will be generated. And interpreter language means what? Every single line will be read and output will be generated. I'll show you how. So when I run this code first, so I have to comment this part. I have to comment this part. So when I run this code, Now you need an internet because see here we can see it's corrected because this is placed on internet, right? Saving it on a cloud. Definitely I need an internet. So I have connected my internet over here. So you can see internet is there, right? See, hello, hello, welcome, good morning, hello, hello. So what I'll do is that, here in welcome, I'll create an error. I'll create an error. Now look at it. See, what I said is that Python is an interpreter language, right? It will do translation line by line. Now you can see here, this is the first line of a code. Here there is no error, right? Second line, there is no error, right? Third line, there's an error. Okay. But in fourth line, again, there is no error. Fifth line, no error. Sixth line, no error. In the third line, there is an error. But see what is happening. What I'm trying to run a code, I'm trying to run a code. You can see first output hello is generated. Second output hello is also generated. But third, where there's an error, from there no output is generated. See, even fourth line is correct, fifth line is correct, sixth line is correct, but there is no output generated. But you can see, you can focus on this first two lines, the output is generated. Why? Because as I said, Python is an interpreter language. So what it does is that it translated this first line into Python into computer languages and it gave an output called as hello because it was correct. Second line was also correct, so it was given output. That means what? As far as it gets a right output, it will generate an output. Unless the code is correct, it will generate output. But that means what? Suppose there are three dialogues. So first dialogue, it understand how to convert into Hindi or Tamil or Marathi. It did translate. Second line also it did the translation. But in the third line, it was not able to do the translation. But that doesn't mean that first and second line cannot be translated. First and second line, it did the translation. Third thing, it didn't understand what exactly it has to be translated, and that is why it gave an error. You need to understand, but in the compile-based language, suppose it was a compile-based language, so if there was an error, see this is an error. So not even this hello will be printed in the compile-based language. In compile-based language, all the block of statements, this is called the block of code, right? All the syntax or all the line of a code has to be correct. And after that only your output will be generated. Even if there is a small error, output will not be generated. But in Python, that is not the case. It's an interpreter language. Interpreter means what? It will do the line by line translation. Here, if it is able to find an output, it will find an output. If it is able to find output here, it will find an output. Suppose here, now if I correct this part, okay, and now if I create an error over here, so see, if I created an error over here, now what is going to happen? Till wherever it is able to find an output, see, here the line of code is correct, so you generate an output called as hello, right? Here also the syntax is correct, everything is correct. The second hello is printed, right? Here also the line is correct, the welcome is printed and good morning is printed. But see, here it was an error. From here, nothing is printed. So that means what I'm saying is that Python is an interpreter language. That means what? It does a line by line translation. It will not compile all the line of a code and then generate output. No, it will do line by line reading. When you're trying to read like a book, you read line by line, right? Word by word. So in the same way, Python also does the same thing. It does the translation line by line. So till wherever it is able to generate an output, it will generate an output. Where it finds an error, it will stop. It will say first correct that error, whatever error is there, and then I'll go proceed ahead. That is why it saves your time as well. So that is why Python is very good when you try to generate output very quickly. Because if it was a, you see, we are writing only 5 lines of a code, but when you go to the industry, the line of coding will be like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. So imagine your CPU, right, computational power or central processing unit, whatever. It requires some time for processing. It's not that when you run a code and immediately output is going to be generated. It might take time. Suppose if it is taking 10 minutes to generate an output. And after generation of 10 minutes, if it was a compile-based language, you are getting an error. How many times you're going to run that code? But instead of that, if you're using a Python, what is happening is that whenever it finds an error, it will stop there only. So if it find an error on the fourth line, so there is no point of going for the rest of maybe it was 100 lines, right? So there is no point of going to the rest of the 96 lines. Why? First, you need to clear this error, and then we'll go to the rest of the line of the code. This is what the best time thing in Python. The drawback of wastage of time will be saved. It will save the time. It will immediately show an error. At this line, there is an error. First, clear that error, and then only I'll go ahead. You got it? What is interpreter language and what is compile based language? Clear? Is it clear? Try to understand the concept. What exactly I'm trying to tell you. Is it clear? Teja, Raj, and Bhanushri.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Bhanushri, Teja, is it clear? I'm not able to hear anything from Teja. Whether you're there or you're not there. If you're not able to speak, you can write in the chat box. Manushri, is it clear for you? Okay, now let's start this part. Hmm. Now let's see what are variables. What are variables? Now, why we need, first of all, why need a variables? Right. Now, suppose there are two male and one female in the classroom. Right. That Teja is there, Raj is there. Manushri is there. Now, if I say, did you understand? If I say, did you understand? So is it very clear for any one of you that whom I'm trying to ask that is it clear? Are you able to identify or understand to whom exactly I'm trying to say? Is it understood or not? When I say you guys understood, right? Or did you understand? So do you understand that is it able, your brain is able to identify, is it to me or is it in general? Are you able to identify to whom I'm saying? No, right. It is not possible for you to understand exactly to whom I'm saying, right? But when I say in specific, when I say in specific, now suppose when I say, right, Bhanushri, are you able to understand? So what happened is that now rest of the people are able to understand that sir is not asking to me. Sir is asking to Hanushri. So what exactly I'm trying to tell you is that when you use a variable, so when you use a name, so it is clear that we are trying to make it specific and precise that we are talking about this person only. Get my point? When I say you guys understood, so everyone in the session will say yes or they'll say no. Why? Because here I have not made specific. I have said in general. But when I say Raj, did you understand? So now Raj understand, okay, sir is asking me only. Now Bhanushri and Teja will not answer to the question. Reason? Because I didn't call their name. When I say Teja, why are they not answering? So that means what? Now Raj and Bhanas, they understand. We are not supposed to answer. We are not supposed to speak. Why? Because my name is not being called. So variables are nothing but the name that has been given to store some values. Because when you're going to use values, you're going to do certain operations. If you want to do certain operations, we need to save that into a particular variable. Now, example, what operation? Now, when you have a name, so you can use your name for generating an Aadhaar card. Yes or no? When you want to generate a driving license, for generating voter ID, for generating maybe Amazon's login credentials, wherever. So wherever you go, when you want to create an Aadhaar card, voter ID, driving license, or Amazon account, what you need is your details, your name, right? So, can you just imagine? Have you ever seen a driving license, an Aadhaar card without a name? So, if you are going to create an Aadhaar card, and if you say to that person who's creating an Aadhaar card, okay, he ask or she asks your name, right? And you say, I don't want to insert my name. So, will it be possible to generate an Aadhaar card without a name? Yes or no? No, it is not possible, right? You have to give your name to that person who's getting Aadhaar card. Get my point? Similarly, when you're talking about that is an operation that has been done. What is the operation? To create Aadhaar card. If you want to create a driving license, what is an operation? To create a driving license. So you have to give your information. Like what are information? Your name, your mobile number, your email ID, your age, your gender, so many things depending upon what operation you are doing. Yes or no? So similarly, here also in Python, when we talk about the variables or name, what are variables and name? They are used to store some values to perform some operations. Whenever we are going to perform some operations, we need to use that variables. Got it? So how do you declare or how do you define a variable in Python? Let's see. So see, when I've written Python variables are container for storing data values. So when you see car is equals to BMW. So remember, whatever you write on the right-hand side of equal to is called as a value. So here BMW is a value, and whatever you write on the left-hand side of equal to is called as a variable. Car here is a variable, and BMW is a value. What I'm saying is that whatever you write on the left-hand side is a variable name, and on the right-hand side is a value. So whenever I try to write, I write print car. So every time I'll get a value called as a BMW. Why? Because this variable is holding a value called BMW. So whenever I say, Raj, did you understand? So Raj will always answer. That means what? When I say Raj, now he is the only one who has to answer. You know, but when I say Bhanushri, then Bhanushri is the only one who is going to answer. In the similar way, so when you call a variable, so we make it very specific. Every time when you call that particular variable, you get the value that has been stored. Got it clear? What is a variable? So this is what you can assign the value, single value, or if you want to assign multiple values to multiple variable, this is what you can do by using a comma separator. We are not only we are going to do it programmatically as well, but I'm trying to explain you that how you can do theoretical through the PPT as well. What is Python? So see, here it is in the object references. So when you create a value, now this is the best thing. Like in Java or C++ or C, what happens is that a separate memory of an object of a variable is created. I just want to know. Okay, now this the Raj by no what? Oh, sorry, I'll explain this programmatically. I'll tell you. So let's see what are the rules for the Python of a variable. Now I want to ask from your side, right? In this world, right? Everyone has a name. Everyone has a name. So can you tell me? I want to know from your side, what is the like? Right? You have a name. I have a name. What are the rules to keep a name in the real world? We talk about the humans or we talk about the animals, whatever. What are the rules that we have that we can keep a name to anyone? What is the rules for that? Have you seen a person having a name starting with a number? Have you seen calling a person called as a 10 Dhoni or 17 Kohli? Is it possible to have a name starting with a number? Is it possible? No, right? Can we have a special character in our name? Have you heard anyone saying, okay, my name is Sangram at the red Bagade, or maybe Raj at the red XYZ, or Bhanushri and maybe Bhanushri uh, double quote or colon ABC. Can we have the special character in our name? Yes or no? Yes or no? Guys, am I audible? Hello.
Hello? No, sir.
So, what are the ways to have a name conventions? Name convention is what? When you want to keep a name of someone, right? Maybe you have a nephew or niece, right? When you want to keep the name of someone, what is the only way that you can have only alphabets in the name, right? You cannot have numbers, you can have the special characters in the name. Similarly, when you're trying to talk about the Python, when you're trying to have the name into the Python or a variable in the Python, what is the way to do that? These are the rules that you have to declare. So first, let's read it out. A variable name must start with a letter or an underscore letter. Correct? That means what? When you're trying to have a variable or a name in Python, you start with a letter. Letter means what? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Those are called as the letters, right? So you can start with a letter or an underscore character. Apart from that, you cannot use any other things to start a variable in a Python. Second, A variable can name cannot start with a number. Now, I'll do it programmatically as well, but just remember the rules. So you cannot start a variable name with a number. So you cannot start with like 10 Dhoni or 17 Kohli or 15 Rohit Sharma. You cannot start, right? One Salman Khan, two Shah Rukh Khan. You cannot start with a number. Third, a variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscore. Now, alphanumeric is what? You can have the combination of letters and alphabets. But how? I'll tell you. Why? Because see, at the beginning you cannot have the numbers. At the beginning you can have letters. But after having a letter, after having the alphabet, you can use a number. And only special symbol you can use is an underscore. Apart from underscore, you cannot use any other special symbol. Here, four variable names are case sensitive. And now case sensitive is what? Lowercase, uppercase. So see in the parenthesis is what square bracket, around bracket I have written. The first date, DATE, is different from second date and it is different from third date. See, the meaning is same, but look at it. The first date is all in the small case, DATE. The second date, first D is capital and the rest is small. But in the third one, everything is capital. Getting my point. So case sensitive means what? This first date is going to be different from the second date and from the third date. Got it? And there are several techniques to write a mud. So one is camel case, one is Pascal case, and one is snake case. What is camel, Pascal, and snake case? I'll show you. So let's get back to the programming language and I'll do it programmatically to make you understand. Okay. So let's get back. Let me share the window first. So how do you declare a variable in a Python? So I'll write here. And what is Pascal case, etc. I'll write. So I've written over here. See, car is equal to BMW, vehicle is equal to BMW. When I said print car, see, print car. So now what is happening is that now BMW, whatever is on the right hand side are called as the values, right? Whatever the values are there. And whatever is on the left hand side are called as a variable. When I say print car, I get an output called as a BMW. Now see, if I try to now call variable car, whenever I try to write print car, so now what I'm getting is that output I'm going to get a BMW every time. So no matter how many times I'm writing, see, no matter how many times I'm writing car, I'm going to get output called as a BMW. That means what? So now when I want to use BMW as a value, you'll understand further. See, this is the first day of session. You'll understand every single thing as the day passes, as the session goes on, as the course go ahead. That is what when I want to use the value called as BMW. Whenever I want to use the value called as BMW, I don't have to write BMW always. I just need to use that variable. And when I call that variable, whatever the value is assigned to it, it will be called. Clear. Now let's see what is the name convention. So how do you write a variable in a Python? So first thing is what? What is the first rule? A variable must start with a letter or an underscore character. It should start with it should start with a letter. Letter means what? Letter means alphabet. How many alphabets are there? A to Z, right? A to Z or A to Z. It's lowercase or uppercase. And or underscore. That means what? When you're writing an alpha variable, so you should start with a letter alphabet. Like maybe you can say this way. If I want to write like this way, I'll just take this part first name. So first name. This is the right way. You can just write this way and you can say your first name and then pass the value called as a Sanjana. So this is acceptable. But I say print first name, first name. So I get output as a Sanjana. So this is what you can start. Or the second is that what has been said, you can use underscore. So I can say this value, this first name. But look at it. I'll say maybe suppose I'll write here something like what is it? The name is Janvi, right? I'll say print underscore first name, right? Look at it. This first name, and this first name is different. Why? because this first step has an underscore. So look at output. So this got me. So you can start with a letter or you can start with an underscore. The second rule states that you cannot start with the numbers. So suppose if I say it this way, Stan, and I say first name, see first name, and I say something maybe as Adam, right? And if I say print, see already it is showing an error. And now if I say Stan first name, it will go into throw an error. See, already it is showing an error. See, syntax error, invalid decimal rule. That means what? When you're trying to declare a variable or define a variable, you cannot have the numbers at the beginning. Clear? So when you're going to start, starting should always have a first letter. It should be a alphabet or it should be a what is that called? Or it should be an underscore. Even if you're using any other symbol, right? Suppose here, if you're writing any symbol like an at the rate, right? Then if you're maybe at the rate, invalid syntax. Maybe you meant double equal to or colon equal to. That means what? At the rate is also not acceptable. If you write is equals to, see, invalid syntax. That means what? Only variable or only special character you can use is underscore. Now, if I just remove this I put underscore. And if I run, I can also put as an add. Clear? Got it till here? You cannot use numbers or any other special characters apart from underscore at the beginning of a variable. Clear till here? Yes or no? Got it. And last one is now this first name. See, this first name. I've written first name. This is also first name. Right. Sorry. This is also first name. And this is also first name. But look at it. This F is a small and this F is capital. So when I print, if you can see, even the names are same, but look at the output. This is going to generate Sangram, and this is going to generate Adam. Even though the pronunciation is same, but look at the cases. What does the fourth rule of a Python variable says is that Python is a case sensitive language. Case sensitive means what? This lower case is different from this upper case. You know what? This lower case is different from this upper case. Got it? Clear? What is case sensitive language? Yes or no? So once again, I repeat. So when you're going to declare a variable, it should start with a letter or an underscore. Second, you cannot have the numbers or any other special character apart from underscore at the beginning. Third, it's a case sensitive language. All right. And fourth, now when I talk about the numbers, so when I say name, first name, here you can use variable, where you can use integers or whatever you say or numbers. So when I say Bob, I say Bob. And I print first name. When I print first name 10, this is acceptable. This is acceptable. Bob. If you want to put here also like 25 or whatever you want to put, this is also acceptable. So if I copy and if I paste it over here, if I print, this is acceptable. Why? Because see, this first letter of a variable, it first character, you can say first character of a variable, it should be a letter, and then what it should be A, B, C, D till Z, or it should be an underscore. Apart from that, if it is something, if I just delete this part, it is going to show another. Got it? And next thing is that now if I have a variable called as about us, about us, so ABOUT about us is equals to Python question. So you can see if I say print about us, we can see space is also not allowed in a variable. It is already throwing an error. If I run it as well, it is going to throw an error. See, that's it. So either you can use this as this way about us, and then you can run the code. So it is going to say Python session. Or what you can do is that you can use an underscore. So you can use an underscore to join this. That is also okay. It is going to say Python say. So you want to use underscore 123, still it is okay. Underscore 123. So when you run it, so you get output for the Python session. Clear? Clear till here? Bhanu, Shri, Raj, and Teja, I would like to know from your side, is it clear till here? Yes or no? Uh, Bhanu, Shri, Raj, is it clear till here? Guys, say something.
Yes, sir. It is
It's
clear.
morning. It's pretty morning. Okay, thank you. Bhanu, Shri, I am not able to hear anything from you. Teja, is it clear? Teja is there? Teja. Okay. Bhanu, Shri, is it clear with you? Okay. Now I'll tell you about last point of today's session as well. What is camel case? What is Pascal case? And what is snake case? So first I'll tell you what is snake case. Snake case. So snake case means what? Here all the letters are in smaller case. So suppose I will say this way. About or we'll say contact us. Contact us. Contact us. I'll say India. Right. So this is a snake case. The second one is Pascal case. Pascal case. So what is Pascal case? First, all the first letter of all the words are capital. So like this way. CONTACT contact us. This equals to India. So that means what? Look at it. In the snake case, look at this. All the letters are in the small case. All the letters are in the small case. In the Pascal case, you can see first letter is capital. First letter is capital. And here also, if you add word like contact us now, right? So see, first letter of all the word, no matter how many words you're going to use, all the first letter of all the words are going to be capital. That's called the Pascal case. And third one is called as the camel case. See, in the whatever the cases I'm writing, I'm trying to write the cases in the same similar fashion. You can see snake case I've written the small case only. In Pascal, I've written P capital and a C capital. See. And in camel case, what is camel case? In the camel case, first letter, first word is small. So this way, CUNTAT. And rest, all the words, first letter is capital. So this way. First, all word is all capital. And then how many, no matter how many words are there, first letter is always going to be capital. First letter is always going to be capital. U is capital, N is capital. Clear? Got the cases? What is snake case? What is Pascal case? What is camel case? Yes or no? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Raj. Bhanushri, you're there or you're gone? Okay. So let's repeat now. Let's see what we have done. So as I said, so Python is the language. So it does the translation line by line. It reads the code line by line, and whenever it finds an error, it stops there. But before that, if it is able to generate an output, the output will be generated. I have shown you if I'm able to have this line of a code as a hello is correct, so it will generate output. If it is correct, it is correct. But if there is an error over here, before that, whatever the line of code is there, it will generate an output, right? So it does a line by line translation. Whereas in the compile based language, what is compile based language? It will run all the block of code, whatever the line of code you have written, it will run that all line of code and then generate an output. And then variables, talking about the variables. So what are the variables? Variables are the names that are used to store or hold the values, right? So why we store the values when you want to perform certain operations? As I said, when I print car every time, so I don't have to get the value called as a BMW. So because why? Because this car is holding the value called as a BMW. If I want to perform some operations, right? So we're going to see it from tomorrow. what kind of an operations are there, what are the operators in Python, not tomorrow, Monday. So you don't have to call that values every time. You can just use that variable name to perform that operations. All right. Now, third, how do you declare a variable, right? What are the ways to define a variable? So first, there are certain rules. So let's recall those rules. So first thing is that the alphabet, the letter, the variable, sorry, the variable should start with the letter, that is alphabets, or underscore. Second, it should not start with the number or any other special character apart from underscore. Third, it's a case sensitive. What is case sensitive? So this first name is different from this first name. So till here it is three. And fourth is you cannot have a space between two words. If there are two words in a variable about a contact, so you cannot have a space. You can either use underscore or you can just remove the space between them. Got it? Or you can use numbers in between them. But first letter should always be an alphabet or it should be an underscore. Clear? And after that, the last point is the cases to which we can declare a variable. So there are three cases to declare a variable. One is snake case, one is Pascal case, and one is camel case. So snake case, all the letters are in the smaller case. Pascal case means what? First letter of all the words, no matter how many words are you going to use in the variable, first letter is always going to be the capital. And camel case, first word is all in the smaller case. First word, entire word is in the smaller case. And from the second word, so even if you use fourth word, suppose one is a contact now today. So today. So see, again, T is going to be capital. So in the camel case, only first word is going to be small, and apart from that, from the second word, first letter is going to be capital. So here U is capital, N is capital, P is capital, and so on. Clear? Is it clear till here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Great. So now whatever has been taught to you, so please try to practice as much as you can. Until here, if you have any question, you can let me know. Clear? Okay. And from Monday, what we are going to start is an operator. What are the operators in Python? Whatever the values we are using. So why we are using a variable and why we are not using values directly. Clear? From Monday, we'll start with the operators, and in that entire week, we'll cover operators and then we'll start with the data types. What will be the data types? I'll fairly explain. Okay? All right. So let's stop over here. Bhanushri, are you able to understand? I'm not able to hear anyone apart from Raj. Teja, you're there or you just logged in and you left? We are about to wind up the session. At least unmute yourself and say something so I can understand you are there in the session or not. All right. So Bharati and Raj, so let's stop over here and let's meet on Monday. Okay?
Okay, sir.
All right. Thank you and
Oh,
have a
thank
good weekend ahead. Bye bye, everyone.
you.
Bye bye. Bye bye, Raj. Bye bye, Bhanushri.